sometimes when you watch a reality TV show and things start getting pretty crazy and you go through all the emotions and you almost feel like you're right there in the TV screen going through it right along with the cast members. Well, that's how I felt when I was watching this week's episode of Inmate to Roommate with Mark, Analisa, and Vada. I could just feel the frustration that they were feeling. My anxiety was high, my blood was boiling. And also, after the episode came out, Analisa spilled some tea about the females that Mark had up in his room, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and talk about this last episode. Analisa was pounding on the bathroom door because she heard a female in Mark's bedroom, and we saw in the last episode she busted a female in Mark's bedroom. As soon as one female got busted, Mark ran to the bathroom and shut the door and locked it, and then Analisa heard another female's voice and she started pounding on the bathroom door, demanding Mark to open the door and get out. And meanwhile, the first girl that Analisa busted in the bedroom, she came out and Analisa told her she needed to go. She told the girl straight to her face, like, what kind of girl are you to be climbing in through a rope ladder for a man in his 30s? And the girl acted like she was gonna go, but while Analisa was going through all this with Mark, trying to get him to come out of the bathroom with the other girl, this girl's just sitting at the kitchen table the whole time, like she's waiting for them to cook her dinner or something. Then Analisa was finally able to bust through that door, and Mark got all in her face. He was acting all sorts of crazy, screaming literally right next to her face. And Annalisa's a tough cookie. We don't really see her get scared very often, but this time you could see the fear in her eyes. And Vada, once he started hearing that Mark was acting crazy and telling her to effing go and get the F out of his face, Vada came running through, and he came through the bathroom and he got in between Analisa and Mark. Vada had to get all in his face. He had no other choice but to react and defend his wife. And Mark was still acting all sorts of crazy. And as he's coming out of the bathroom with this girl, Analisa is like, dude, I told you, you're not supposed to have anyone inside my house. Meanwhile, Mark's chilling in his little cartoon boxers, thinking he's big pimping with these two girls in the house. And he walks outside. He's like, look, I gotta go. But of course, like always, the finesse king claims he did not do anything wrong. It's everyone else's fault for overreacting when he keeps breaking rules and crossing boundaries and showing zero respect for their home. So Analisa was like, man, I need me a freaking Tylenol. And she wants Vada to be on her side to help get Mark out as soon as possible. She cannot take another day like this, and I don't blame her. I felt so much anxiety. I was exhausted after I was done watching this episode, so I can't imagine what they went through dealing with that. But then they decided to call over their daughter, and I'm glad we got to see their daughter again. And she came over and they spilled the beans on what happened with Mark, and the daughter didn't seem really too surprised. The daughter did not want to say it, but the whole time she was thinking, yeah, I told you so. And even Analisa admitted that she regrets not listening to her daughter, because everything her daughter said was going to happen ended up happening and some. And then the daughter looked at her mom and dad and said, well, what are we going to do? And Analisa was like, he's got to go. But the daughter knows better, because Analisa may be the first to put her foot down, but it's really Vada that's the deciding factor in all this. And Vada was asked, are you going to let Mark continue staying here? And he said nope. He said that he cannot look at Mark the same way ever since he got his wife's face. And he's like, he was literally close enough that he could kiss her if he wanted to, which is just totally out of pocket. So the daughter was like, okay, well, if that's what we're gonna do, then can I please have the honors of packing all his stuff? And they're like, yup. And she was ready to do it. She ran up to the room, started packing everything, and of course she found a big old fat sack of weed that he had left there. And then he had all these Motel 6 cards, and it wasn't just one Motel 6 card. He had a whole spread of Motel 6 cards, and they were for the Motel 6 in Aurora, and they said that is known as the track where all the hookers go and take their clients to hook up with them. And then once they saw that, it all made sense. Analisa was like, okay, that's what he's doing. He's out here pimping these women. And now it makes sense, because I could never understand what these women see in Mark. But maybe they're just like so desperate for some kind of protection that they're willing to put up with Mark. And that explains why he's gone all day and all night and then just shows up when he wants to and can't stay away from these girls because he's trying to make some money off of them. Then Vada was cracking me up at the end, because the producers was trying to get some insight from Vada. They said, well, if you could do this all over again, what would you do different? And Vada said, I would have left his ass at the prison, which I full on agree, because I feel like they did everything they could have done. I can't think of one thing that they could have done different. Mark was going to be this way either way, because he was just not ready to be what he needs to be and be a stable member of society. He's not done with that lifestyle. He has not hit rock bottom yet, and I would not be surprised if he's back in prison in the next 6 months. Especially when I saw him at the end of the episode, when they showed a preview for next week's episode. He had my blood boiling. This fool pulled up to Analisa and Vada's home to get his belongings, because after the daughter packed up all his stuff, like his clothes, his green, his rope ladder, she put it in a trash bag. She put it right in the front yard where they usually put their trash, so there's no excuse for Mark to try to come back inside again. And Mark shows up to get his belongings, and he wasn't too happy that he was officially kicked out and all his stuff was left on the curb. So he pulls out his phone and starts recording Analisa and Vada's home, full on doxing their home, their address, their cars. And he was saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna have the whole hood pull up here. So pretty much threatening that he's gonna send all their location and dox them to try to possibly hurt them. And I just could not believe him when he said that. There's no hope for this dude at all. Analisa responded to a few comments in a inmate to roommate Facebook group I'm in, and someone was talking about Mark and the girl that he's in the bathroom with, and Analisa said, you're kidding me, huh? Did you see her face? It was blurred out, huh? She was a prostitute. Did you see him in his cartoon underwear? Oh, and ask me how long they were in the bathroom. You only seen a quick clip. Nah, buddy, he had to go. And he had to be doing something with that girl in the bathroom to be in his little cartoon underwear. And then someone else asked her, well, what happened to that place that Vada took Mark to, where they claimed they were going to set him up with a job? And she said that Mark lasted about a week. That was a gift horse. He was going to get paid a weekly stipend, help with certifying for a job that would have started about or over $30 an hour. That would have been a good career right there. Help with getting credit, driver's license, resume building, and help with finding housing, just for going through the program. Then someone else asked Analisa, so what was Mark doing in your home? And she said, pimpin', pimpin', pimpin'. And he thought that he can bring it in our house, which is just shocking. Like, he had these girls coming up to his bedroom on the rope ladder, and what was he planning to do next? Start sneaking their tricks up the rope ladder and letting them use the bathroom and Mark's room as a place to hook up with tricks? Like, it's crazy, because I'm pretty sure Vada was the one that said early on in the season to Mark when he tried to get these girls to stay the night, like whenever he first got out. I remember Vada saying, "This is not a brothel." And it's pretty funny because that's exactly what Mark tried turning it into. And this man, like, to think that you're gonna have these girls turn tricks and pimp out of their house. He's a wild one for that. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.